Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Adiyogi Shiva statue out of air dry clay. I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you're all doing really well.
So we're going to start off with a wooden base, which is around 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters, and then we're going to attach a wooden rod for the neck support, and we're going to screw that onto the wooden base. We're going to add foil for a rough bust, so that includes the neck, the shoulders and the head. And then once we've got a rough bust shape, we're going to secure that with masking tape, and we're going to wrap that all around the foil. So the reason that an armature is essential for a piece like this is because this piece is quite big, so without an armature the bust could collapse under its own weight. Also, for a piece like this without support, it could sag or crack as it dries, so it's really important to create this armature first. We're going to apply clay all over the armature into thick layers. This is just a rough shape of the head, neck and the shoulders. The head is going to be a fairly square shape, slightly elongated at the top. The neck is going to be quite wide, muscular, and the shoulders are going to be nice and broad. So we're just adding in more clay for that square/oval shape of the face. In terms of the ratio of where we put the features, it's usually split into 4 equal parts. So we have the top of the head to the hairline, and then we have the hairline to the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose, and then the bottom of the nose to the chin. These are the 4 parts that should be of equal width, a quarter of the face height. So we're just going to hollow out a little bit of the eyes so that we have that eye socket, and then we're going to go ahead add in a little clump of clay so that we've got the eyeball shape. We're going to add a bit of clay for the nose, which we're going to shape as we go. And for the upper lip, we're just going to have a long strip of clay, which we're then going to just push upwards with our fingers so that it has a gentle M shape, so that we have the 2 curves of the Cupid's bow, and it slightly dips in the middle, and then the sides kind of taper into the face. For the lower lip, we're using a shorter section of clay, but this is more of a softer curve, so there's no sharp points for the bottom lip. We're going to just use our fingers to kind of blend the outer edges of the bottom lip into the clay. I wasn't happy with the line that I drew for the closed eyes, so you'll see me wiping that out and starting that again. For the nose, it's fairly narrow and thin, so that is quite a prominent feature of this face. And then we're going to use the end of a paintbrush to poke those holes for the nostrils as well. And I'm just using a dry brush to smoothen the texture of the skin. You can also use a damp sponge as well, that's really useful. But yeah, the nose is quite a prominent feature on this, so you see me reshaping it. I end up slimming down the sides of the nose as well, just so that it's a sharper feature for this. And the smile lines, we're just gonna draw that in very lightly, not too much because it's not quite a big smile, it's a very gentle smile. And then if the clay gets dry, make sure you have like a little cup of water so that you can just apply water to soften the clay as and when you need. So for the crevice of the eyelid, we need to make that a little bit more prominent, and then I'm going in and redrawing the line for the closed eyelid. As you can see, for the inner corner I'm drawing a little curve inwards, and then for the ends of the eyes I'm curving it outwards as well. I feel like that works best for this closed eyelid look. And then I'm just going ahead and making that eyelid shape more prominent and that eyebrow shape prominent too. I'm just using my thumb to push that clay in so that you can see the eyebrows more clearly. And then for the ear, generally in terms of where to put the ear, the top of the ear should be roughly where the eye is, and then the bottom of the ear should be roughly where the bottom of the nose is. That's the kind of rough guidance, but don't worry, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just going in and using that curved wooden end to help separate the bottom and the top lip a bit more. And then yeah, I'm always just using my fingers to soften the edges of that bottom lip as well. I'm also just doing a little line in the middle of the bottom lip as well. That's just an optional little touch. I'm rolling out coils of clay and then I'm layering them on top of the head as well. I'm just kind of stacking them in a natural flowing manner. And I feel like the hair is flowing behind the back rather than onto the front of the shoulders. So we're just putting little strips of clay and layering them on top so that it's flowing behind the back. And don't worry, we will sort out the back of the head too. We'll do that later on in this video. Again, I'm just going around with a dry brush to soften the texture of the skin as well. Then I'm going to make the serpent. I usually use a bit of wire to secure it into place because it's isolated vertical bit, so we don't want that to break off. So just securing that with a little bit of wire would be perfect. And then a little strip of clay for the earrings as well. So for the beads, I'm rolling out small little balls of clay, and for the extra detailing, I'm just using the end of a bobby pin and just lightly dabbing that onto the beads so that it gives it that texture that we're looking for these beads. And there you go, that's what the texture of the beads should look like. So we're going to be working more on the back. We're literally just rolling out clumps of clay and we're just naturally layering those strands of hair over the top of each other. So as you can see, with the hair, I'm just kind of interweaving them naturally, but not anything crazy, just making sure that it's kind of looking flowy. We can then use our fingers to smoothen everything so that it all looks nice and clean. For this Adiyogi statue, it's quite simple, not so ornamental, so I'm not going to go in with like hair strokes or anything like that. I'm just keeping it quite simple. So for this piece, because we're using air dry clay, I'd recommend waiting 2 weeks for this whole piece to dry. So if you want to gloss it or paint it, I'd wait for it to fully dry for 2 weeks and then you can go ahead and colour it. And while it's drying, I want you to cover it loosely with a plastic bag, just so that the clay dries slowly and that it's evenly drying in all the areas. And that will just ensure that there's less cracking. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is my tutorial on how to make Adiyogi Lord Shiva statue. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want me to make anything for you, comment down below and I'll make a tutorial for you. Thank you so much guys and have a lovely day.